Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play SimCity. We're still in Lost Brussels, so I apologize for that weird break and the drop to 720p, but it's definitely performing better for everyone. 720p is happy making. When we're doing the XSplit, the streaming, the webcam, the everything, I gotta keep it at this setting. I'm waiting for Intel to come out with like a new, just a whole new sort of chip infrastructure, and then I'll just like replace the whole system again. Because this system is a couple of years old. The problem is there's not much in the way of the CPUs have slightly faster, gigahertz speeds, but I'm not convinced that it's going to be like transformative into what it does. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is blow up these streets and then rebuild them. We've got enough cash in the garbage dump, almost full. Where's my garbage dump? Over here. I need another incinerator? I have 3 incinerators already. How much garbage is this city producing? If this is anything like CSI, then all these garbage dumps are actually full of dead bodies. CSI Las Vegas. Well, that's not going to work out. Do I have a recycling plant? I don't think I do. Oh well. Screw it, so we've got a garbage problem. We've got a bigger sort of traffic problem, so I want to see about doing that. See, there's still always going to be some traffic issues in here, but that's not the end of the world because most of these bottlenecks are going to be localized traffic. It's hopefully not people taking really, really long distances to get things done. Up here is a whole other problem because this stupid corner and the way this ferry terminal is, and I don't know what to do about that. All right. So let's go and see what happens if we bulldoze these. Yeah, B for bulldoze. We've got abandoned buildings. We've got homeless people. I think I'm going to leave this bit at the north. We'll see how it goes. And then we will take the high density avenue. And yeah, we will do this sort of nonsense. Now, there's always a risk when you have intersections too close to each other that it might cause problems. But I think that overall, this is going to be better than an actual four-way intersection. So let's take a gander and keep watching this sort of thing. Oh, Quill. The Twitch TV on iPad still not working. That's too bad, because I was really hoping with the partnership we'd be able to get that thing going, but we'll keep an eye on that. Because I know a lot of people like to watch Twitch on their mobile devices, their tablets. I mean, if you've got a decent data plan, you can stream it like literally when you're on the go, even if you don't have Wi-Fi, which is pretty damn handy. I mean, I know that if I were going to school or work and I was on the bus or a subway, watching some videos, pretty nice. Okay, so here there is still like the goddamn traffic jam of doom. And that was another thing, like the city, like we've got the airport over here, like great, and then we have all our tourist stuff way over here. Great, that's... So all these people have to make it all the way across town to be able to do it. Whoa! That's a hell of a fire. Abandoned building fire. Oh, is it trying? Look at this. Look at this bus. Across all the lanes of traffic. There we go, finally go. Alright, let's clear out some of our abandoned buildings here, because we do have a gajillion of them. And see if we can't speed up the recolonization process. I mean, on the bright side, there's no full-on rubble. Too many deaths. Oh yeah, we'll have to check some of these meters. We'll have to check the poop flow, because obviously that's important. Out of money, so some people are having trouble working. This one. Too much crime. Too many deaths. Okay. But most of those things, like crime, fire... is it too loud? I hope it's not too loud. Crime and fire and deaths from illness, mostly those all come back from, or come back to traffic jam problems. Right? If the ambulances, it's only 10 deaths per day, given the size of my city, that's not so bad. Could be worse. Oh, we got a little extra stubby stub over here. It's always a little awkward because it creates extra intersections. Alright, we're okay. I guess I should also check the mass transit. It's possible that we don't have a good mass transit system in this town. Because again, this was one of the very, very early ones. You know, it's high density, right? But it's always the question of, like, is it really bad? Because it turns red if it's full, but as long as people keep moving, it's okay. The problem is always when traffic comes to a complete standstill. I'm actually using this to get from one side from the other. Yeah, I guess what else are you going to do? If I could cut back on this crosstown traffic, that would be pretty powerful too. Like, what if people actually came from bus stop, going to a hotel, commuting to office job? Yeah, it's the crosstown traffic, I think that's the problem. And that's really what you want to try to reduce. You want to stop people from having to go from one side of your main entrance avenue to the other. It's really funny how, like, few people are actually traveling this way. That's because I don't have anything interesting going over here. Like, ideally, I would want to encourage traffic to go straight through here. And I've got nothing that does that. Too much of a lateral build in the city, which I think is the root of the problem. Plant trees. I agree. We do want to prettify things up, right? So we should do... What the hell? I really have a house here? Really? De-zone that. Yeah, let's pretty it up. If we can't do anything for the traffic, we can at least hide it. We can pretend that it doesn't exist. So I'm going to use nature parks along the road. Just because I like the thin ones. The problem is, like, they build long like this, and I would really like them to just build parallel to the road. But that's not really an option. I mean, I guess I could just plant legit trees. That works too, right? And it does look pretty nice, and it's a lot cheaper. If I have too much ground pollution, and there is a little bit here, then they will die off after a bit. But that's okay. It also means they'll have done their job. Yeah, there's quite a bit of traffic here. A lot of unhappy people. I mean, I still like this as my first town, but it does have a huge population. I guess I keep saying, like, I keep being critical of how it's worked out. We've lost a few people here, but probably people just moving out because they're miserable about things. But I have to say, like, I did succeed in making a pretty decently sized city, and there's something to be said for that. That's the traffic coming into town. Oh, that is pretty backed up. It's not as bad as it could be, but we really need more on-ramps, off-ramps. I really feel that the cities that have an entrance sort of highway that cuts right through it, like, and has two entrances, like one here, like the last city we were in, right? The avenue would cut from this side, whoa, all the way through to this side, and then you have two ways to get in and out of the city, and it's not reliant on these skinny little on-ramps. I really feel that those cities have more potential. And, you know, I've been trying sort of like some silly and kind of interesting builds what are people saying over here? No, everything's good. I've been trying, you know, some different builds. So it's like, oh, we'll use curves. Oh, we'll try to make a low density, very high wealth city. And those are kind of interesting, but I probably should go back to trying to make, like, a big, super high population city again. And not using, like, too many, like, ridiculous tricks to pull it off. You know, I don't know if you can do the all residential city anymore. I'm pretty sure that they've tweaked a lot of those values. But still, and I wouldn't want to. I would want to make a balanced city of some kind. So it might be interesting to see how big we can get and what kind of structure is good. Part of the problem with that is a lot of those things just require sort of a lot of fiddly sort of tweaking and tuning and trying, like, well, what if, you know, we move this corner a little bit or get rid of one of these side streets and then sort of sit and watch. I think it might end up being a better kind of time-lapse video with discussion afterwards. And those are a little easier, but they still take a lot of time. Like, they're easier because I don't have to be actively talking the whole time. Can I bulldoze this street and not lose a building? I can. Excellent. What about here? We'd lose that, although it would rebuild in the other direction as well. Let's do that. It's only one building. Again, we'll lose a tiny little bit of population. But the zoning should still be there. So this should rebuild and at some point become a high-density building as well. So we'll see if we can prune some intersections. See, this is the exciting, fun part of these videos. Let's see, I can safely get rid of that. Probably this as well. It says advantages of creating those T intersections as well. Well, I definitely have to get rid of one of these. So which one's it going to be? I can get... It's just going to bulldoze all these buildings, but I actually would like to get rid of this road. And then I can get rid of this one and create some nice T's. You know, the smaller intersections work well when you've got very low density buildings, because then you can have like the rows of houses on both sides. But once it gets big, you really don't need that middle one anymore. And so, you know, I guess early on you might want to build with just more space and a looser grid, like skip every other step. There you go. Fill in all those gaps. There we go. So that should actually be quite helpful. And we should do the same thing over here. All right, I got rid of some of these connections. I mean, I guess the better T would actually be getting rid of this, so at least you've got it straight through. You're not forcing people to do left or right. You can drive straight or make a turn. But we've got to take what we can get. I can get rid of this. And it might be good. I don't know. Actually be better off getting rid of this one. Because if I get rid of this, then it forces traffic to go all the way down here and around and over here, which is no good. If I get rid of this, then at least it clears up some of the traffic on this side road a little bit more, so people will flow a little bit more easily. I don't know. I'm not actually convinced that I'm helping. And again, the problem is, like, you've got to make the change and then sit back for an age to see if it's improved anything. Although there's certainly less traffic over here. I mean, part of it might just be getting rid of the buildings, but traffic seems to be flowing much, much better, right, compared to over here. Maybe it was always worse over here, but I'm pretty sure that clearing up these roads where we can is actually the way to do it. You build a homeless city, start with a lot of residential, then after people move in, close the roads, demolish the houses, build a lot of parks. That does sound like an interesting experiment. Build the hobo city. Yeah, and in any case, over here, we don't want two connections. Actually, that is really bad. So I'm going to get rid of this one. These buildings will have to get rebuilt. Oh, including the gambling HQ, but it's closed anyway, so that's fine. That way, there's only going to be one intersection sort of screwing around with the avenue, and that is going to be much, much smarter. Actually, I might want to build another connection over here instead, but at least there's more room between intersections, and it'll get rid of this intersection here, which I think is going to be very, very powerful. Goodbye, gambling HQ. So yeah, let's go ahead and extend. That's probably, or at least it should be, a high density road. Right there. And like so. Let's double check to see how the buses are doing. We have pretty green coverage, actually. Missing a spot over here, but there's actually not much over there. There's a little bit over here. And we also have streetcars. And I think the streetcar is designed pretty much as well as you can get. It's a single run, so the streetcars won't get confused. There's plenty of stops. All right. So we are on cheetah speed. We will watch some of the traffic over here. And there's certainly a bottleneck over here. I also have to slow down the speed and start tracking individual cars. But there's a lot of intersections here. I think this road is a really high candidate to get rid of. Or this one and this one. This should almost be an avenue. Just all the way down and have it be the only connection. That would probably be the smartest thing, actually. Get rid of this little bit. Avenue all the way down. Or another one. I mean, maybe we don't want to get rid of the baseball field. Too many homeless around. You know, or over here even. Actually, that's probably the best bet. Just tear all this out. How much money we got in the bank? We actually got a pretty big bank. Build an avenue and then have things split off there. Although, here again, it's going to force most people to kind of go left, and it'll still clog up these little streets. Yeah, this might be the best bet. What is this building? Police precinct, I think. Yeah, we won't actually have to bulldoze it. Avenue from here, and then people can branch off in sort of both directions, and we can alternate these side streets. I think that's a good idea. And hopefully the congestion algorithm will encourage people to stay on the avenue as long as possible. Yeah, so we have to, you know, bulldoze a few more buildings. We should be used to that by now, right? People might say, all these poor homeless people. Oh my god, the mayor keeps destroying, like, not just my house, but my entire street. He's such an asshole. This is going to interfere with a lot of my big buildings, too. Yeah, I'm not going to get a helpful grid here, which is too bad. But I could at least do it this way so that I know that on the left-hand side there's enough room for a building to fit in. Yeah, so there's going to be a pretty significant urban redevelopment plan over here, because obviously these roads are not going to be helpful at all. And let's go and refill in the blanks. These are awkward little, little holes. Why can't I build anything there? I'm almost thinking like D-zone, rezone or something. So the population has dipped some more, although not tragically so. What the hell? Can't zone the corner? I don't know, maybe it's just a graphic glitch. Alright. Let's let that sit and run for a little while. Maybe we'll answer some questions in chat and see how these buildings pop back up. And there's no traffic now, but of course I bulldozed all the roads where there were people on them. So there's only going to be so much extra. There's still going to be the problem here that a lot of people might be making this left, although, again, if the traffic congestion algorithms are working properly, people will start to prefer going straight over to here if they can avoid it. We'll keep an eye on this area. We might have to do some more bulldozing over here. We might get rid of just these little connections here and here and just really force people to go up the avenue. Take a look. All right, so let's take a look at the chat. We'll keep everything rolling over here. Yeah, everything is good. And we'll just watch. So, what's your mayor approval rating? Well, I don't know. There's a green happy face. There's no industrial happiness because we don't have any industry in this town at all. We have no high wealth commercial, but that's okay. A lot of concern about crime and shoppers, but mostly crime. Medium wealth is pretty low. Dying, parks. Oh no, we're sick. Oh, I see, I got rid of a lot of parks, so there's probably some pretty significant gaps in the wealth in terms of where it should be. Yeah. Let's stick a park in here. Yeah, we'll do a medium wealth park. And maybe we'll do an amphitheater as well. Or amphitheater. I know, I always pronounce the P in there for some goddamn reason. Although many people do. It's one of those regional things. It's like whether you pronounce the H in herb or herb. I don't know where I want the high wealth area. And these guys really don't have any coverage on the edge. We lose some of our amphitheater coverage here, although it's going to cause too many buildings to be bulldozed. Maybe I'll just do this. People running on the avenue will be able to see prettiness. Alright. So actually, the increase in wealth might cause a drop in population because wealth buildings are lower density, so we got to keep that in mind. Show the poop. Yes, of course we will show the poop. My God, what was I thinking in not showing enough poop for people? Our poop capacity is actually being really pushed, and I'd noticed before that some of these were kind of brownish. Can we build another one? It looks like we should have space, yeah. A little bit more poop processing power. Poop, poop, poop. We're also hurting for water. No, we're not. There's a water pump that is dry. Oh, that was the other problem with this city, is the water basin is not refilling itself properly, even though we're right on the shore. So why on earth is this so white? Yeah, we had to build another water pump over here, and this one seems to be okay. I'm wondering about just bulldozing this crap down. And I mean, obviously there's the idea that you pump the sewage back into the ground and replenish the water supply as well, but we don't really want to be pumping water over here. We used to have an industrial area over here, which is why there's still ground pollution. I suppose I could bulldoze some of these buildings and build a bunch of parks or something like that, and that would assist. I mean, right now our pollution or our water levels actually seem to be okay. They're holding up, so that's good. Power, we are at a 0, which means we're buying, which is fine for now, but there's always the risk that we're going to run out of our regional power supply. Yeah, actually we're almost peaked from oil point here, so we are going to expand our power plant. We are properly buying oil, yes. God knows that's been a problem before. So yeah, the one of these, it's like it's not as good as the lower one. 150. Yeah, they both do 150. I guess this produces more air pollution, but this is so much more expensive. It does use less oil, though. I guess that's the balance. It produces the same amount of power, but for 1/3 the oil, less pollution, more expensive. I don't know, you know, how to do the math in terms of comparing the extra hourly rate, so the extra 400-ish simoleons that this costs us per hour, versus burning 24,000 fewer barrels. Uh-oh, we lost the stream. Versus burning 24K fewer barrels per day. We do get the advantage of less pollution. You know what? Let's go ahead and add this in. Oh, we can even add it on top of the building? Well, that's cool. Let's do that. I feel they actually tweaked the numbers on that, because I feel like it used to be like really crappy. I mean, I might still be missing something. I might have missed something really obvious about the math there. Again, don't do math on live TV, kids. It's not good for you. This garbage situation is terrible. Okay, stop sending power to you. Well, that's okay, because we've increased our power. We should be fine now. In fact, yeah, stop sending power to us because we don't need their goddamn power anymore. We have our own power. Burn more oil. It definitely looks less traffic jammy over here. And again, we're still roughly down. I mean, I think we hit 230K at the peak. population. But this is much, much, much better than it was. And we still haven't popped our high-density buildings yet. They should get back over there, but I don't know. Is there no sign? Yeah, that's right. I forgot to build a sign on here, didn't I? Oh, that's terrible. Bulldoze a building to place the sign. That is just stupid, actually. Could I place it on the other side? Limit reached? No. I was going to say no limit reached. Yeah, we'll put it over here at least, so something can pop back in. Alright, so we still have some traffic congestion over here, and by some, I mean goddamn tons of it. But, you know, one area at a time. A little bit traffic jammy over here, although not necessarily the end of the world. Like, it might be red. Even then, it's only mostly orange. Kind of autumn colors, much like the trees. There's a surprising amount here, actually. I don't know where these people are coming from that they then want to go there. I guess we're missing some of these city connections. We probably have to do the same sort of avenue run here. I suspect this road right here would be an excellent candidate for avenuization. Sure, it's a word. And, you know, if we've got an avenue here, and down here, and another one here, I think that would be an excellent candidate for another streetcar run. Because right now, if we go and take a look at our streetcars, you know, we've got this section here, and we don't want to have too many branches in our streetcar, because again, they get confused. They may have improved now that they've changed some, like the bus AI and stuff like that. The same may apply to streetcars, but it's still a good idea to keep them separate. So we can have a whole other loop that starts right around here, goes all the way down here, does this little zigzag. It's like one of those Tetris pieces that you never want to get. To here, to up here, and then have it stop right there. And that is pretty strong. It might help with a lot of this sort of lateral motion. Look at the streetcar wait time. 400 minutes average wait. It's only the poor that use it anyway. As long as the rich aren't inconvenienced, who cares, right? Yeah, I think that's what's going to have to happen. There's quite a lot of traffic here, too. If nothing else, we need an avenue over here. So I'm going to do the same sort of thing. But again, our population may drop down a little bit, but we'll recover. Yeah, B. B for kaboom. Well, actually, a kaboom starts with a K. B for boom. So high density. So we'll do a strategic upgrading lately. We are going to create a T or a four-way intersection here, which is, you know, again, as mentioned, not necessarily the idealist of we're going to lose some. Yeah, let's go off an angle here so that we can do that. It's not necessarily the most space efficient. That way we don't get rid of some of these higher buildings. We will re-densify or rezone. No, we'll leave that there so we don't have quite as much like weird traffic on the sides. I mean, it doesn't really matter if that's a zone or not, but I guess I'll put it down just because. And then we can do some upgrading. So, again, I don't want to go all the way to the end. So here we'll be fine. Streetcar, streetcar, all the way across. That thing was in my way. I guess I should start from this side. And that way the tooltip won't be in my way. Used to be a disadvantage to create so many streetcar avenues because it would force streetlights. Now the streetlights are there regardless. And again, ideally working a little bit better than they used to. Fires blaze out of control. It's great. So we're going to be building another streetcar depot. Oh yeah, and it's really large. Well, these are small houses. It's not going to hurt quite as much to put it here. So we'll do that. Creates the connection, which is good. Connection is a little close to this intersection, actually. Oh, I wish I could undo. But you know what? I am going to, I know it costs money, but I'm going to bulldoze this anyway. And I'm going to rebuild it. It's only 30K. It's fine. I'm going to rebuild it further up here. So that way the intersection, the streetcar entrance comes in a little further away from the actual two intersections. Yeah, and that's going to be probably better. And then we'll build some stops. So we'll build one as far north here as we can. And then we've got a decent amount of green overlap still from over here. We really don't need one here because there's not much, but I suppose technically, well, this area needs to be serviced, so I'll put one here. And over there. I guess maybe I do want them near the intersection so that they can go sort of a little further in. Well, that's being serviced pretty good. Alright, and there we go. We've got a trio of streetcars that are going off, and this may further alleviate some of our issues. We'll cross our fingers and see how it goes. Do you think they might add subway system in the future? Well, I certainly expect so. Now, the thing is, they have done away with the underground layer. So that sounds like somewhere like a supervillain. Dr. Vu would live in an underground lair, but I mean layer. Where in previous versions of SimCity, you might lay your underground water pipes and your subway, and mostly those two things. And the thing is, some people were like really upset. They're like, oh, it's a sign that they oversimplified SimCity. Laying down water pipes was sucky and stupid, and I hated it. Same thing with the power. I'm perfectly happy with all those things running under streets, because in reality, those things mostly run under streets, right? Your water mains and things like that, generally that's where it is. So when you have a water main break, they have to tear up the street and get at it. But it means you don't have to, say, tear up someone's house to get to a water main and repair things. These things run under roads. It's just the way it works. And, you know, subway is more or less the same thing. So I suspect that if they do introduce subways, they will probably just run under the streets as well. And so maybe just each subway stop will be quite expensive. And I don't think that would be unreasonable. Did we lose the audio? Loop isn't connected. Is it really? I was wondering about that right here. Take a look here. Is it just a graphic thing? Let me take a look at all the stops. Actually, let me go back into... Is this really not working here? What is this little spit? Does it have like the little... This is like my last city where there was a stupid little roady thing that was screwing everything up. God damn it. Yeah, we'll blow this all up. What is... Oh! This is part of the basic road that I can't do anything about. I can't upgrade or change it. Ah. Alright. So we're going to have to be a little wonky here. Let's see if we can do that without a corner there, but I'm not sure there's any way to pull off what I'm looking to pull off. Those are really close intersections. Oh, God, that was much longer than I thought. Oh, God, I should have just manually did that. Hang on. Yeah, we're wasting a fair amount of cash here, but what actually I should do is build it as the lower quality road and then fiddle from it. Upgrade it from there after I'm happy. I'm wondering if we can actually eliminate kind of a corner here. Is this going to be an intersection regardless? God, that's terrible. But if we can do that and then... sort of come out like this, I think I can actually trim it by one intersection. At the very least, to get it working. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about what that is going to, how it's going to function in terms of game terms. Okay, now we have it all connected. It's a really weird looking opening. But yeah, people are flowing all the way through here. Not as well here, though. Well, let's give it some time and see how it works. Because, I mean, there's going to be the way it looks graphically is not necessarily the way the game thinks it works. At the very least, hold on. That's problem number one. This needs to be a high density. There we go. Much better. I mean, this is a short little stub of road, which is not fantastic. Because the problem is when the lights change, it's only... Why isn't this going at all? Are these guys all trying to turn left over here? Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that connection right there. Ah, now that is much better. That is going to be much stronger. We'll probably want to get rid of this one as well, but at least it's a long stretch of road and it actually should work relatively smartly. Yeah, we'll probably have to do that. I don't think it's even going to bulldoze a building, actually. Oh, no. Why wasn't it highlighting it? Oh, when you click down, that's when the highlighting happens. Son of a bitch. Because when I was like mousing over, I'm like, well, it's not turning the buildings yellow, so it's not going to get rid of them. It's probably worth the cost, though. Even though they were really cool looking. Let's get rid of these abandoned buildings over here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a substantial improvement in the overall traffic. As silly as this intersection looks, I guess the big problem is still a lot of the traffic coming from here, trying to get here, and sort of plugging things up for people that want to go this way. I could build another connection over there, and that might be pretty good. In fact, what I'm going to do is get rid of this little connection here. And then let's see if we can. We're on curved, yeah. How low can we build? To there? Can't create smooth enough terrain, really? Okay, well, let me come out here. And do that. It creates an extra intersection. But it gives people a couple of different choices for getting around here. This bottleneck might be annoying. You know, I'm almost wondering about just creating a roundabout here. I mean, there are no true roundabouts in the game. Oh, look at the colors change. It's not going so badly. The biggest problem is this stupid, like, one lane out lane. Right? So everyone's got to shunt over to the left-hand side so they can go out this way. That's the real problem, is these stupid turnoffs. What I wouldn't give for the ability to just create, like, a section and proper connection. You know, have the highway, like, multiple lanes of traffic be able to turn into here. Look, turn green. What time is it? Well, it's 5 a.m. in the morning, so that's maybe not terribly indicative of how things are going. Now, in terms of the mass transit, streetcars are reaching everywhere. Yeah, they're going all the way over here. They've got this dumbass little hairpin turn. But other than that, the population is back at 233 already. Yeah, we may have greatly improved things over here. Yeah, I know we're losing some money. It should hopefully bounce back. A little bit of negative money is not the end of the world. We can recover from that. Actually, a little surprised based on the population that we have. I can fiddle with the tax rate as well. I think it's actually quite low. What we really need to do now that we've got the traffic sort of working better now is to get the tourism industry working properly again. How do I have so much homeless people? Maybe that's why. Like, my population's really high, but it's all homeless people who don't pay taxes. Crime and fires. That'll be the next thing to maybe look at. Maybe. I mean, at the same time, we can't really just throw more money into social services, unfortunately, because we don't have the budget for it. This is not an abandoned building. Maybe it was a second ago. I don't know. Yeah, the traffic is flowing pretty well. It's the traffic coming into the city, but that's always an issue. As dumb as it looks, I think it's worked. People are actually using this avenue now, which is very nice. There's still this little problem. And, you know, the solution might be to actually build avenues here, feeding into these neighborhoods instead of this little thing. But even then, like, it's not chronically stuffed up. And our budget is, you know, it's not terrible. I should just close this. It's doing nothing for me. Casino's losing money too. Like, what the hell? This used to make some money. I really should just, like, build the casino next to the airport. That would be the correct thing. And, you know, something right next to the ferry terminal as well. This place is still confused as to whether it's abandoned or not. Alright, you know what? I'll just blow it up. It's too bad. That was a nice building. Yay, more homeless people. That's going to help with the crime situation. I don't think we've got any loans. Yeah. We're buying that. So we could take out, like, some huge loans and use it to build a proper tourist industry. And we maybe do that when we revisit this town next. I'm actually having fun sort of trying to resolve these issues. I think it's time for just a brief break. I'm going to put in a cut in the video for YouTube and get a glass of water, and we will be back in a moment. See you next time, folks.